That's a great question posed already by Travis Moody. Why do we need a G.I. Joe fan club when we have What's on Joe Mind every Friday night? That question will be answered tonight. We've got the man, the myth, the noted author, James Kavanaugh, here to plug his new project
Yo.
right after our catchy-ass theme song. Hit the music. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. It's time for the What's on Joe Mind TeamStream. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. Welcome back to the big program. It's good to see you. How's everybody?
Doing great.
Weekend.
All right.
I tell you what, before we begin, can I just answer Travis's question real fast?
Sure, why not?
The answer is no. Nothing beats the What's on Joe Mind. The end. I just wasted half a year of my life, and thank you. Good night, guys.
All right, hey.
Hey, give me a shout next time. You guys got me.
I was going to play the outro music.
I got G.I. Joe fan club stuff to work on, so I wouldn't even know.
If you are watching us on YouTube tonight, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to go ahead and like our video. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. That's about 30% of you. If our numbers are consistent over the last couple of weeks, which is great, it means we've had a lot more viewers, a lot more new viewership. Go on, subscribe to the channel. We're this good every week. If you're catching us on Facebook tonight, go ahead and give us some kind of reaction emoji on there. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart. Give us a little huggy guy. We love little huggy guy. Just to let Facebook know that you're watching and to help circulate us to all of the folks who are already subscribed and still can't find us because we don't pay for extra advertising all that often. Thanks for letting us accumulate 2,500 fans, Facebook. Thanks for that. Thanks for putting them all behind a paywall. Thank you. Good job. Anyhow.
Yay, Facebook.
Yeah.
Destroying democracy with every second.
Right over here in the top row. He's the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe branded Hasbro. It's the Hot Show, Mark Weber.
Hey, it's good to know that Facebook has free time to oppress other people. I thought they were just busy suspending Eternal Baseball like all the time. So for reaching out to groups that we're members of, like, sorry about doing that, right?
Yeah.
But
jerk,
man, telling you,
isn't that the whole point of Facebook?
I kind of bring people together, right? But not too many.
Yeah,
not too often, right?
Yeah.
We're very popular. So
only if they're going to go storm. Only if they're going to go storm a building.
This is what I don't get is, like, if there's a number of times I'm limited to share a post to, like, don't go over 50 or something, just tell me and I'll stay under it, right?
Right.
But there's no listed number. So Eternal Baseball has 2 players of the day every day. And God forbid it's a Yankee and a Cub, because there's a lot of Yankee and Cub groups that we're associated with. So I look at that and I'm like, well, what do we think the number is I should stay below? If you just told me, I would. But
it even factors into how fast you do it.
Right?
So if you can post the exact same thing, just wait 10 minutes and then fire off another 40. Oh. But if you're sitting there doing 50 and 50, a minute each or 30 seconds each, now it'll cut you off.
Man.
Obviously, all your players of the day need to be either Marlins or Rays.
That's the deal. Like, if the first one's a Yankee or a Cub or a Dodger or something, I'm just praying that a Brewer had a big day, right? I mean, like, good Lord, Carl Crawford hit 3 out for Tampa. Help me out. So that's me. I'm the demon scourge of Facebook, just trying to stay on this side of the law.
Well, I'd always heard that about you, so
right. I'm dangerous.
No.
Let me tell you. Here's the best bit of the week. So I'm teaching yearbook at a Christian school, and 3 kids in the back of the class, 10 kids, small class, not a lot of kids in yearbook. One of them starts playing music from his phone. Now, A, don't play music in class. And B, if you're going to bang some gangster rap in a Christian school and try to float easy does it past the teacher, which is a filthy song.
Yeah.
You picked the wrong guy. So I said, real quick, turn it off. And the guy did. And he said, what, you don't like Eazy-E, Mr. Weber? And I'm wearing a mask, so they can't see my mouth, and I managed to omit all the curse words. But I went right into it. Well, I'm Eazy-E, I got, good Lord, you may have a lot of, but I got much more. And they fell out. The whole class fell apart. That not only, they thought I didn't know it, I know it by heart, baby. So from the mean streets of Bend, Oregon to the mean streets of Barrington, Rhode Island, my street cred is through the roof at BCA. So more power to me for the best teaching moment of my life, which is spitting Eazy-E at a Christian high school this year.
Lava Bears.
I do not get that same
life.
I do not get that same street cred with my knowledge of Billy Joel lyrics.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
But he is the native minstrel of my people. So
fair enough.
0. In the bottom row, he's subbing for Joe Colton, who was on assignment this week. You know him, you love him. He's setting a personal record of appearances on the program. It's Rack Time Rob.
Hello.
Yeah.
He has no such rap stories for his kids.
But also, we could also give him another nickname: Dead Game Survivor. Rack Time Rob. Just barely.
Just barely.
Just barely.
This is the wrong year to put me through Dead Game with everything else going on.
We all just barely survived Snake Eyes. And our special guest this evening, you see him bottom right. You know him, you love him. He's not a static picture like he was the last time he was on our program. He is in live and in living color. Noted author, James Kavanaugh.
We're up in our game for what's on Joe Mind. Got to bring the video. Fun fact: you can in a very early to mid career of Too Short, you can see Mark Webber in the back of a video as a hype man.
Right?
It's like that out on YouTube.
Tupac dancing behind the Digital Underground, right? Who's that behind? Is that Tupac?
No.
In a Too Short video, though, Mark's 6'3", so he's off around.
Well, that's
here.
why. Too Short only brought the
Yeah, if you cut me off mid chest, it's hard to tell exactly how white I am.
Well, that's probably the other reason why you did.
Your arms could just be sleeves.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Fun one on that. I was on a date down in up in Columbus, Ohio, and walking the strip from the university, and then we pass, and there's this open field, and they're filming a rap video, and it's just packed, and it's full on exactly your typical. I mean, there's a 90s rap video style outdoor, and that was it to a T. And then we walked in, and they're letting anybody come in, so we stood around for a little bit. I could easily be on the back side. I don't even know the band. They looked at us like we were nuts.
We're just gonna go by.
Nothing
Is that?
Well, you'd have to recognize James's late '90s haircut, which would be impressive if you did.
Some hair, yes.
Some hair is an understatement.
Because it was it's starting to go.
I'll meet you there, James. I'll meet you there. Mike and Rob will be good forever, I think. But
well, I always use. Funny enough, I use a baseball reference for this. Mark, you're in the minor leagues. At least I'll let you know when you're in AAA, and
right.
Maybe you'll hit Hall of Fame status one day, like me. Trust me.
Bad
the
for me,
baldness.
because I'm like world class pale. So once it finally goes, people will see me think, right?
Oh my God.
Oh,
That's true.
not gonna be good.
I was gonna say, there's one thing you do when we hang out, Mark, is you make me feel tan. So.
That's it. I'm just here to make jokes and refract light.
I think you're one of two people, maybe three on the community that can make me feel that way. So,
That's it. Which is why when I drop Easy E lyrics
oh yeah,
as the whitest guy in New England, which is hard to pull off, yeah, it's a big deal.
I'll leave it with this. I can say an extensive amount of Ice Cube surprisingly was hitting the roster while I was finalizing this fan club stuff in January. So I'm not kidding. Especially no Vaseline, but
There we go.
I'm just thinking we gotta run a sweep of Maine before we figure out who the whitest guy in New England is, though.
Oh,
That's probably true.
We gotta at least check out Maine,
That's
Some
probably
guy
true.
living in a cave,
Right.
or anybody in Maine.
riding a bear. You know.
Yeah.
is there any way you can go into YouTube and kind of adjust the settings to darken this?
Right.
People might be kind of glaring as they're watching.
Yeah, I can go. I can do the better. Like, look at that.
Oh,
Now we're talking.
Jesus.
Now
I
we're
can't
talking.
see right through you.
Yeah. Oh, now that's better.
Help you out a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm feeling a little more comfortable.
Perfect. Yeah.
Need to get some text on this.
Right. Hold on, let me check with the producer.
It's fine. It's fine. Just go with whatever.
He's always texting me. Are you coming? Are you coming on the show tonight? I'm like, I got this.
Can we?
Never been late.
Mike's
Yeah,
on.
we need to get the roadies to get some equipment out.
I got people paying attention to my wardrobe.
Well, I can't.
That's what happens when you run the show.
Oh, now we're talking.
Robo
Yeah.
going.
I'm jealous.
Ben sent me a message the other day, and it was a little bit generic, and I responded to it without even checking who had sent it. And I'm like, it was talking about, I forget what it was, or hey, love the show. And I typed back and I said, it said something about Skeletron, and I said, did you see what they're doing with the Gyrewolf figure? It's the coolest thing ever. You know, back, and he's like,
I heard.
Yes, I have.
it's my company, Web, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
Or just keep powering through.
Yeah, or just I either did too much or not enough. But,
It's your company now. Congratulations.
Oh, hey.
yeah, I didn't get the promotion notice on LinkedIn. Pretty exciting.
But we want to thank everybody who tuned in last week and saw the definitive tier list on 1982. Thank you all for telling us that you think Stalker should be a general class character. We respectfully disagree. You're all wrong. Sorry. The general class.
I could be swayed.
General class is restricted for those that transcend the brand. And Stalker's important, and we all love him. Everybody on our 4-person panel, everybody has Stalker as a top 10, if not a top 5 character in their own personal favorites list. It doesn't mean he's a general. Because if you went up to somebody who is either a lapsed fan or somebody random on the street and said, hey, you know who Stalker is? They're going to look back at you with this blank look like, I think I saw some of them on Dateline.
Right.
No, that's not right then. That's not a general class character. So thank you for letting us know that you love Stalker. We also love Stalker. He's a major.
Oh, all right.
James obviously didn't watch the show last week. Thanks for supporting the program.
Anytime. Well, I can do my best. Well, like I said,
Mike.
we'll get into it, but I have done nothing but GI Club and
You've been
self-esteem.
It's
He's
like,
going to tell us how busy he was.
yeah, you know what? There are lots of other shows out there you could be watching.
Well, that's true. I can't. Yeah, I got to spread the love.
I'm going to get into the news, but my news window,
Don't blink.
right?
Yeah.
Not a lot going on. So yeah, news is up.
This about sums it up. Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
We did it. Oh, speaking of Stalkers, 5:55 this afternoon at Walmart. So
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
yeah,
That's a really good fig.
Oh, it's fantastic.
one
It
of
made-
my lower arms broke, and I think I left the pistol in the one that I returned. So I actually had to buy another one to have a complete.
Although
fig.
at 5:55, buy 3.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I did. I bought them all.
There you go. All
So
right.
there you go. GI Joe fan club prizes for all.
Don't some people finding his tanks for like $6?
I think so.
Yeah, they're hitting clearance if you're lucky enough to have a store that's still got some. But first news item. We'll come back to the art of G.I. Joe. They finished up their Kickstarter campaign. Congratulations to Carson and his team. 2,797 backers for the Art of G.I. Joe hardcover omnibus book. That is $393,567. That is redonkulous.
Yeah. That's the number to look at right there. Great job.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
If I'd have known it was that close, I'd have put in the $33 to get them over 400,000. No, wait. Hold on. Let me look. Never mind. Never mind.
$33 to get them over 393,600, which is not quite as meaningful.
Yeah, never mind. You're on your own, R. Carson.
Round of applause.
You got that Hasbro severance. You can bump it up an extra 6.
Yeah, what am I, finance guy?
Yeah.
I'm in there. Send me. When do I get my book?
Where's my book, man?
Yeah, where's the book? Oh, he probably sent it through Chicago.
Oh.
Oh man.
International airport.
Maybe his whole project got set back when the X-Men mansion blew up next door.
Another fine instance of the honcho going pre-show so that nobody in the crowd knows what he's talking about.
Westchester is not that far upstate.
Nobody watching live, nobody watching on recording, nobody knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He just comes off like a crazy person.
Yeah, but now they wonder, right? And they're like, you should have tuned in earlier, caught the pre-show.
Yeah, pre-show is the best show. You
really is.
And you're not always wrong. Sometimes it is clearly the best show.
I'm right a couple times a year. I try to space them out though.
When you see the 2-bit slime show that we present as our finished product, you'll understand that yes, pre-show is the best show.
Rehearsal went so much better this week.
Maybe instead of Facebook ads, you can sell pre-show tickets.
Right.
You can log in.
There you go.
All the good.
That'll be our coffee backers bonus or something.
Yeah.
Pre-show.
There you go.
The pre-show is unrated, right?
Yeah.
It's got Andrew Stevens in it. It's great.
I can say the fan club uniform was not on at the time of pre-show, so tune in, folks.
It's like my grandma always said, "Skin to win, baby." Oh yeah.
And that's not just James's forehead.
No. So there's plenty of that.
He was James Cavanaugh.
No.
No.
Yeah.
You know, in all the years I have known James, we have never thrown that one at him. And I'm a little sad.
See, that's what I'm here for, man. Blind squirrel.
We went high concept. We went Bandolero Omega, but we did not go Cavanaugh.
I had one guy in college call me that, and he thought he was slick. Yeah. It's a great mind. Yeah.
Probably redhead.
Well, he might have been, trust me.
Yeah.
He was a wild one.
Next news item. I mean, not nearly. We've been going off and riffing on comedy to this point. Unfortunately, our next news item is a sad one. It's the passing of Ian Kennedy, the renowned British illustrator who most recently was connected to the Skeletron Project. And let me take a few seconds and read some excerpts from 2000AD.com, where one of his many obituaries is printed. Thank you. Lost the word there. It is no hyperbole to describe Ian Kennedy as a legend of British comics with a career spanning more than 7 decades. His meticulously detailed but dynamic work graced dozens of titles, from Hotspur to Bunty to Commando to 2000 AD. His style adapted perfectly to the generation of science fiction comics like 2000 AD, for which he worked on strips such as Invasion, Judge Dredd, and Mach 1, as well as on Robusters for stablemate Star-Lord. One of his most famous covers featured the perfect intersection of the different parts of his career. Messerschmitt 109s from World War II transported to the skies over Judge Dredd's Mega City 1, with one pilot screaming, "Himmel, this isn't Stalingrad." I've seen that cover. I love that cover. It was World War II and his childhood love of aircraft that dominated his career, as he produced more than 1,600 covers for DC Thompson's classic war comic Commando, as well as covers for Warlord, Victor, War Picture Library Battle, which brought him to Action Force, some Red Dagger, and more. In an age before credit boxes, many artists of Kennedy's generation labored in obscurity, unaware of the impact their work had on so many young minds. Fortunately, this was not the case for him. The internet and convention appearances allowing him to meet his fans and come to understand just how popular his art was and remains. And so there he was, 89, and our hat goes off to him. Truly a legendary career. Especially, I mean, obviously we're pretty new to him here in the States as far as knowing who he was, but for all you folks overseas, we certainly feel your loss. And next news item. That brings us back to the Word Burglar. His LP, The MacGuffin Device, is 90% funded. We've got a little over 3 weeks to go. We do have the link for this project on Bandcamp down in our description below, so be sure to check that out.
Yeah, that picture, that cover's amazing.
Yeah, it's covered by Brian Sauer, who was a guest on the program a couple weeks ago. The guy from Codename Iowa, who was with Carson.
I did catch that episode. That was a great one.
Well, gee, thanks for watching sometimes.
Anytime. Yeah.
I mean, that's the one everybody watched.
Well, sure.
Doesn't make it special.
Nah.
But yeah, he's almost there. You can be very confident that this one's going to fund, again, 90% funded, with over 3 weeks to remain. With over 3 weeks remaining on the project, so that should be no sweat. So whatever misgivings you may have, they are completely unfounded. Go support the Word Burglar. He's a fantastic guy and a hell of a temp.
Right? I mean, this is one of my favorite news bits ever. I mean, the whole bit tonight, because we got two of our favorite people with projects that are doing really well. So, yeah. Digging it.
Good times right there. And speaking of our favorite people with projects. Hey, here's the project.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, man, this guy.
That guy.
The G.I. Joe Fan Club Mobile Strike Task Force. And the question that we're going to answer in the coming 60 minutes or so, do you trust that to this man?
I don't. I say run.
Tell you, man. Hypnotic charisma right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's all it's going to be is a calendar of those costumes. All 4 issues. So
This is
Work the
Mr.
money,
November.
yeah, hey.
Right? The redhead. So,
Yeah, of course.
It's never a complete episode with James Cavanaugh unless we work in a little Crimson Crystal Ball.
Oh yeah.
Warming the pegs and your hearts.
Jesus. The memories.
We'll be back after after just a minute from a word with.
Even I gotta zoom in and look at that guy.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
that was by far the smoothest pitch I've ever heard. We'll be right. You'll write it. We'll do it live.
Exactly like that.
Jesus.
That's the one line I had written down. Oh my God.
Liberty Boo. Liberty Liberty.
It's like the first time I remember
House of Mazzilli championship.
watching a game that was being broadcast by Joe Namath. And it was right after the Colts moved to Indianapolis. It's a game in the Hoosier Dome. And Joe Namath comes on the screen, front and center. Welcome to WOJM.
It wasn't right after they'd moved to Indianapolis. We were living out here already.
Ooh, but yeah, Not only is he in the wrong city, he's not even pronouncing the wrong city right.
Oh,
Yes.
Broadway Joe.
So
Oh my! I'll have to look this clip up.
He's
Oh.
still looking for that kiss from Susie Colbert. Still.
probably. Keep digging, Joe. Keep digging. He's got himself figured out and cleaned up. We'll give Joe the benefit of the doubt. So James Kavanaugh.
Yeah, we're doing it.
What led to this? I guess that's the first question.
What possessed you?
Yeah, we're G.I. Joe fans. Obviously, we were, we were all members of the club. In Mark's case, he was technically, helping to run the club for a time there. But and that went away in 2018. Why do you think we need another club?
What possessed me? Do we really want to go down that rabbit hole with any of my thought process?
Yes.
Maybe.
This is the time. This is the time where it's both accurate and meaningful to the conversation. So we have to
get it out there. No, it was time. I mean, I think it was time. Everybody throughout even when the club was going, the Collectors Club itself, Fun Publications was going on. Too many people said, "Oh, it'd be great to run the club," or if I want to do this or this, that, and the other. I mean, we all kind of wished or dreamed. It's kind of like working at Hasbro. I'd love to work at Hasbro. I'd love to do all this, and some people go out and get it. Yeah, I know, Mark.
No.
What I'm getting into.
No, I love the ride. It was the sharp stop at the end that was kind of jarring.
It always is.
Getting thrown from the vehicle on a sharp.
You read my blog, some of the highlight points of my life. But no, I think going to shows post Joe Con and just being in the mix that I am, too many people have shown, a sense of lamentation or whatever, and missing some sort of collector's club. And I figured, why not? I started looking at the options. I recognize there's no action figures. If we can kind of start, I think it's either on this show or I'll make a post and kind of clarify what the G.I. Joe fan club is versus previous iterations, because I think it's human nature to sit there and say, this is what I understand it to be, therefore this is what it'll be now, and that's not exactly the case, but I definitely think that something is there to be had and to have fun and build on and move forward. I think there's something in the community that's not moving forward in a fan club communal and that sort of community fit, like structured organizational sense, that's still lingering, and I hope to take the reins and, well, along with everybody else. I mean, I got a roster a mile long. It's not just me, absolutely not just me. And I've reached out to Mike and Mark at least, and they've expressed, and yes, these two fine gentlemen. Rob, I'm reaching out to you right now.
I get his number.
And that's all to be coming. This is just the first step to get it going. But I definitely, I've always kind of had it in the back of my head that in my little looking at my life and dreams and movements in G.I. Joe, I'd always thought it'd be neat to do something more official with a G.I. Joe fan club. And now I'm doing it.
So and again, I'm not trying to cast shade on it at all here, but just so that folks understand, this is not like the Collectors Club. This is an unofficial organization. This is not officially connected to Hasbro.
No, absolutely, it's not. That's another good point that I wanted to clarify here. And like I said, yesterday was such a great whirlwind, but I've barely had the time to catch my breath in my G.I. Joe world. For every post or comment that you saw me make on between the G.I. Joe fan club website, the RHC guidebooks, which is my book site that I used as a conduit to get the word out, because the G.I. Joe fan club Facebook page has been out for months. I've doing the whole just fun posts to see if anybody's poking around. I don't know. I always poked around and that sort of thing. And then you guys doing a great job. I can't thank you enough for spreading the word. that for every one post that I set out there, there was 5 in my PM box answering a lot of questions. So yeah, it's going to be different. Like Mike said, it's not official. Maybe one day, but I wouldn't even. And people have asked, have you thought about reaching out to Hasbro? And the answer is no. Not. I mean, I have thought about it. I'm not going to at this point because I want to get all the wrinkles ironed out. Right now, I'm saying I'm running a G.I. Joe fan club or getting it going. A year from now, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully, it just really picks up steam. That it's something I'm confident that they would be interested in, and they'd be confident in me if and when I have a conversation with them.
And so, James, you
Mark, any advice beyond that? I'd love to hear it outside of this. Go on. I'm sorry.
you
run.
you let this leak the first time. You were at the Winterfest.
Yes,
Kentucky. That Mark loves the website for so much. But you were at Winterfest and you put out some flyers.
I did.
And so that was the first anything that anybody heard about all this. And of course, you and we had chatted, so I knew you were up to something. But I mean, I generally assume you're up to something. That's why I call you every few weeks, because it's like, heard from
again.
I should get on the phone so that I know my hubcaps are safe.
Yeah, if you really want to, folks, if you really want to donate to the show and thank Mike, he kind of keeps me in check in time. So if you think that's even possible, so there you go.
When I call James, he usually says, "Hey, I got to go see a guy about a thing. Don't wait up."
Yeah. What's in the bag? Stuff.
Well, I figured out Mark can say what's already known doesn't need to be said.
Right.
He's got all those easy lyrics down pat. He knows how the game's played.
The only question I ever have for James is, James, have you thought about the legal ramifications for this? And James, I don't have any money for bail, right?
Right.
Well, that's really the only reason why I pick up the call to begin with. I'm hoping.
Right.
No. Mike's lotto ticket came in.
No, if James calls you, for God's sake, pick up. It might be his only phone call.
Right. Throw stuff out of the way to get to the phone on that one.
Well, this is a G.I. Joe fan club, not a Dreadnought fan club. So, or headhunters for that matter.
It might be the Canadians finally got him, right?
Well, now that can easily be true. That's happened to a few of our Joe guys going to CJC back in the day.
Yeah. Well, you had a couple adventures at Rollout Roll Call too, right?
I did. Yeah. Well, I mean, I made it successfully across the pond and back with no. Well, we did run into some footballers that were little. Or no, they were rugby players.
Yeah, rugby fans. Yeah, we were there in the middle of the World Cup of rugby.
Oh God.
Yeah. And right. There was an England v Scotland game.
Good Lord.
The same night that we were out at the bar. And
they did not appreciate toy collectors in all shapes, sizes.
Right. Nor your dismissive haka, probably, right? That was unnecessary.
I'm in this bar. I'm standing next to the boss fight bunch. They're over here to the left. I turn and look back to the TV, and then I turn back over to them, and there's a couch there. And I don't mean there's a couch down on the floor. I mean there's a couch on top of them. It was an experience. We had a good time.
It was a riot. And guess which two individuals were hogging the telly watching American football and not giving two hoots.
That was the night of Mike and Dave Proctor doing the American Rules Football Masterclass.
Oh yeah.
It's a good time.
And probably 3 a.m.
What do you mean that's not a catch? How do you
The Bengals were on, so your boys were represented there, James.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's quite orange and black, colorful for a change in these here parts.
Right. It must be weird being in a city of football fans for a change.
I'll say this briefly because with the business, we did want to do something for Bengals, and we were looking out for Bengals bars versus Browns bars. I don't think, viewers can correct me, I don't think there's an outright Bengals bar in Dayton. Because probably everybody just plays the Bengals, but there are Browns specific bars.
Always.
So it's a little south of the line for us, but
I can only I can only imagine how many women Joe Mixon is going to punch if they win. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is too dark.
Oh,
Let's go Bengals.
Too dark.
Let's go Bengals.
Luckily, yeah. I'm rooting for the Bengals. I've always enjoyed the Bengals.
Yeah. If you liked them before they drafted Joe Mixon, I can't hold it against you.
I don't even know when they drafted him, so
Yeah, there you
it
go.
shows you how much I like the Bengals or
Yeah.
any other football team.
Try to talk specifics with James about sports. That's not going to get you too far.
So we were talking about the G.I. Joe.
Right.
fan club.
There
That's
you
what
go.
we turned into uninformed sports radio.
Yeah.
Bazooka.
No, I worked in uninformed sports radio. It's not that good.
You're
Another question.
third of the edge.
Going back to international, another question that I get asked is, will it be available for outside of U.S.? And yes. I mean, I'll mail it to Mars if NASA's willing to take the newsletters and the Martians are willing to pay the shipping cost. But so there'll be additional shipping. I've run the numbers. I ran the numbers back in October, and that's another reason why prices aren't out there quite yet, is that I ran the numbers as far back as July, and I kind of looked at them in October. I mean, we all recognize the inflation that's going on and price changes, and they're significant. And also I'm kind of gauging. So that's what I need to do, double check. I've been rather diligent on how the wheres and whens and keeping all my numbers. You know how folks that know me for a while, I'm a Mr. Data guy or Mr. Wannabe Data guy in terms of tracking everything. I also want to gauge the reception of this, which has been phenomenal. You guys have been great. I can't thank everybody enough for doing anything, liking, posting, woohooing, all that. Look, for example, do what? I'm sorry?
Little huggy guy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Always the huggy guy. That's what they call me at conventions, by the way, if you haven't met me, but you will, because you'll get a hug, whether
It's
you
weird,
like it or
weird
not.
because you're tall.
Really, I know. And when they're short, I just fool. Maybe they get their head like stuck there.
So
But,
James, looking at the live chat, there seems to be some confusion about the merchandise that you'll be making available.
Okay.
Or perhaps the lack of merchandise that you'll be making available.
So I'm in the SteamYard link. Is there any way I can see, or do you just rattle it off? Or
I would just say don't worry about the specifics, but what's going to be available by signing up for the club?
okay, you know what? Hold on. I apologize. When we moved before the show, my laptop, I forgot to plug it in.
Here we go.
All right.
So there's show prep.
You know what? We're just grateful
Watch
there's a
these cameras.
shirt.
We'll run a quick
Yeah,
line.
get the full-
Now back to what's on your mind?
Run it again.
Now back to what's on your mind?
It just gets cuter and cuter.
It really does.
That'll last forever. It's kind of eternal. So,
As James resettles.
yeah, it's fine. He'll be right back. Probably Oscar. Like, legitimately, I would think when he shows back up.
Here is the question that
Oh.
How many flag points for membership?
Tell me, do you guys have like a drawer or a big Ziploc with like 8 billion flag points in it?
I think
Or
I
you
did
give
at
up
one
on it? Or
point.
did you give up on it at some point?
I have a bunch of them still. When they got revived during, what was it? Is that Valor versus Venom, where they made a brief comeback?
That's right.
I thought they were offering like the flag points like redemption during like the 25th.
It was sometime afterwards.
Yeah.
Or it was they were taking them for Doc when they did the Doc mail.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
But I have a bunch of them from then. And that's about it. Like I don't have every single flag point from back in the day, but I've got some. All right, James looks like he is functional again.
Back and rolling.
Hey,
There we go.
He is. There's the guy.
I missed you guys.
Did you promote him?
Apparently.
You promoted him?
Yeah, there you go.
If that isn't America. Go ahead and fail upwards, everybody. Jeez.
He's the guest, It's just
You really have been reading.
Oh, he's in charge.
Oh, hey.
Mr.
Really haven't read
Kavanaugh.
my bio. Yes,
I
sir.
apologize.
That's
All
right.
right, now here we go.
Mr.
There we go.
Kavanaugh.
I got the pecking order.
Are you happy now, Mark?
I'm just saying, I'm very protective of my spot.
All
It's
right.
the only place that has something rounder than my head on it. So very good here.
Could you imagine Mark on an episode of Tic Tac Toe? I mean,
Right?
gee.
Oh, it's the only place that'll help disguise the identity of whoever happens to come down the stairs. Too.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
That's where you have to stay there.
It's my
There you
spot. It's
go.
like I'm like Sheldon, right? It's my or Norm. What do you do, Norm? I sit there.
There. Jesus.
And order Screaming Vikings.
That's it.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was about to just do the same thing, Dave. If why don't we lay out what's going to be available through your GI Joe fan club and how that's different than the collectors club that came before?
Yes. So again, I don't have access to Hasbro's tooling. Bare minimum fact that I'm not an official status, or the GI Joe fan club is not. So what I immediately the solution was to try and strive and give people most bang for their buck. What can we do besides a periodic newsletter that can really get people jazzed or feel like this is worth contributing or want to jump on? Because people just don't jump on for their good graces, So we're going to have a quarterly newsletter, four issues, hopefully quarterly. But they will receive 4 newsletters for this subscription. You'll also receive a membership card. There'll also be a lot more custom input on this. I was a variable data specialist in another life, so I just kind of like it. So I'll be, collecting the name, any sort of code name or online handle that you give yourself. You can register that with the fan club, and that'll be on the membership card. I also have 2 dog tags, not just one, but 2. One will be a generic GI Joe fan club logo tag. The second one will be a custom membership tag that'll have your name, your code name, and your membership number and all that. Also, they'll come with 2 patches. One will be kind of what I term the more generic, but the more universal, be the GI Joe fan club logo patch, as well as a themed patch, because this is the introductory year, so it's more of an introductory theme. It's also coincidentally the 40th anniversary of GI Joe as a Real American Hero line, so we are going to focus more in that direction. I've already planned out the next 3 themes. And I can spoil 2024. Does anybody want to take a wild guess? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the anniversary. We'll do a blast off. It's the anniversary of GI Joe itself. Just remember 4 at the end of the year. So 12-inch has a big year in 2024. I'll save 2023 as a surprise. This year's theme.
Oh, James is frozen.
Oh.
No. He's pausing for effect.
Take a moment here to remind everybody, if you are new to us, thank you so much for tuning in. Please give our video a like down below. Subscribe to our channel. About 30% of you are not subscribed every week.
30,
which is crazy. If you're going to tune in every week,
Yeah.
might as well help us out. That's the one thing you can do the most, the one thing you can do to help us the most.
Mhm.
Is subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. That way you're standing and being counted, and again, we the bigger we get, the more we can do for you. So please give us a hand. If you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're watching us on Facebook, please give us some kind of a reaction. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart. Give us a little huggy guy. We love little huggy guy. And wherever you go, whatever you do, please share our video. Leave a comment down below. Just interact. Let us know you're here. Not just live stream it, interaction. We're talking big boy comments down at the bottom of the page. Be sure you get them in there because they help us out with YouTube as well. James will be back momentarily. He's
He's fixing the flux capacitor.
Yes.
All right. Tune in next week when James and Joe both join the show and we form Voltron. It's going to be amazing.
Ooh.
Right? You know who's not tuning in next week? Robeasts. None of them.
No.
He's out, man.
They know how that show ends.
We get the sword going, and
we're going to start with the sword, right? We're not going to screw around with the other stuff.
Right.
Make the big robot, start with the sword, and just
Voltron,
5-minute episode. Yeah.
For a man that guy, he lets those Robeasts get in way too much offense, right?
The only show I ever saw that was more formulaic than Gilligan's Island.
Yeah,
I love Gilligan's Island, but
we
Voltron
complained about that when we were 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
Why don't they just start with the sword?
I remember as a kid sitting on the couch going, "Make the sword already."
Yeah, and then I remember my mom saying once it would be a really short show, and I realized, oh well, that's why they don't do the sword first.
Yeah,
just building tension. Okay,
and then you realize you're going, if this show is shorter, that's not such a bad thing.
Man, couldn't one of them, just one of them, like I could see it in the pitch meeting, right? I'm like, well, it's a scorpion Robeast, and it knocks the sword out of his hand, right? And now we have drama, and they're like, yeah, nah.
Yeah, no.
What are you new here? Like, somebody shut intern boy up with a scorpion.
Yeah.
I think James is back.
You better know the password.
Sir, what is the password?
What's on Joe mind for life?
All right, works for me.
A good one. Good one.
And geez, I apologize. I know why this is going. It all revolves around the light switches. For some reason, the electrical outputs are contingent on the light switches. I don't know why.
Stop
making excuses. I'll own it. Yeah, I know. Now you know why Noted Author doesn't do video, but or tells himself he doesn't do video. So I apologize. It'll be fun to watch on the replay,
right?
Especially all the jive talk between me coming in and out. But
we talked about Voltron, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Well, now I really am bummed that I got blown out.
Here's a spoiler.
Ben.
He makes the blazing sword.
Oh, there you go.
Cuts the thing in half. Yeah.
You ruined it.
Yeah, which episode?
Yeah.
All of them.
Odas, Los Episodas. Yes.
Throw in the occasional shield every now and then, and
spoilers for the most for the most formulaic 35-year-old cartoon ever.
Absolutely. So it'll have two patches. One will be themed and one will be generic. I do have a custom logo that I'm working with. That'll be in development for the club. That'll be fun. I'll save that also for a surprise. It's in the works. So this year's patch will reflect said logo. It'll be a familiar logo. Again, what people also need to recognize that this club is celebrating G.I. Joe. Duh, it's in the name. But without an official status, there won't be a flagrant use of logos and key IP tidbits. So I've done it before with 6 other books on G.I. Joe action figures. I think that, work around it. You can do it with the newsletter and everything else. So with that said, we covered the dog tags. We covered the membership card. We covered the 2 patches. There'll be a battle ribbon, which I personally always love the battle ribbons of the old. And so each year's theme will have a battle ribbon. It'll be more of a pin this time. I did look in the costs of fabric. It's not really conducive, especially at the numbers that are conducive for the fan club or for the pricing structures. So I did look into that. Will be more of a metal pin, but it'll still be the size and the homage of your standard pins. That'll also be a yearly theme. There'll be, again, 4 newsletters. There'll also be a letter from General Hawk. Another component that I wanted to add to this is a sense of storyline. And so at all points, I'm thinking for every action figure I don't have. So at the end of 2018, I think we received 40, 50 action figures, which is a lot. So we're kind of coming off, again, not only are we coming off of what we know, we're coming off from a lot of what we know or knew. So at every point I'm trying to think of that. And I think if you didn't read the very long, I admit, but I have a lot to say and add to this presser. I want to focus more on fun, the fun aspects of G.I. Joe. So there'll be an element of story play into everything that we do. There'll be a letter from Hawk. I mean, not 24/7. We're not going to run around and call each other code names. You can do whatever you want. But I at least want to interject that when I thought of it, I thought of those murder mystery dinner nights, those parties. So there'll be a letter from Hawk. It's kind of written to you, the reader, and it'll paint the picture of the fan fiction that'll be also included into the GI Joe fan club. It'll have its own universe, as they all do, but it'll be a more, what I consider more ubiquitous universe that could easily fit in your favorite preferred genre or universe of GI Joe. I mean, everything that we know is fairly formulaic, I would think. There's obviously little changes here and there, but for the most part, the characters are ubiquitous throughout. And it'll be like that. That'll be written by Justin Bell. I can say that. So excited to have him on the roster on that. And I'll be revealing more and more. And again, we have a laundry list. I'm very excited that all the right people, and hopefully more of the right people, hopefully you, anybody listening that wants to be active or contribute, will indeed do so. Everybody's welcome as far as I'm concerned. All right, so there'll be 4 issues of the fan club. There'll also be a store, and they'll have exclusive items to said store. So as I was researching everything that I was trying to cram in to make a nice, cohesive package for everyone, there'll be some items seemed great, but others just didn't quite fit in the pricing structure, but too good to turn down. So there'll be some store items that only store members can purchase. And I've always constantly thought of this, that I want everybody to feel included, on all this, anybody, but I hope you join, and I want to make sure that there's benefits to being a member at all points. There'll also be a challenge coin. I mentioned that on the list. That'll be thematic. It'll change every year. This year will be 40th anniversary GI Joe, so you can kind of count on those elements being there. And I'll be putting out reveals in the next few weeks with the goal of having registration at the end of February. And registration should be 3 weeks. I did look at the turnaround time for ordering and receiving said items. There'll be about a month, at the most. And then there's obviously some fulfillment to this aspect. So really at this point in the explanation and the conversation, I immediately then thought that I want to be open and honest and kind of out front with anybody at all points, so just bear with me in case there's any hangups on that. I'm sure there probably will be. Everything looks great on paper.
Yeah, something always comes up that you're not
going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've sat there and looked at how it'll work out. So, for example, in this perfect scenario on paper or in Excel world, you'll receive your first package with all your items, both custom and more consistent, generic, that are universal to everyone. And then after that, you'll receive your 3 subsequent newsletters in an envelope, same way previous instances were mailed.
So real quick, James, one question that you missed from Matt Rubin: yearly subscription, one-time fee, monthly. How's this going to be set up as far as paying for entry into the club?
It'll be yearly. So count on that. Like I just said, you'll get everything. I am working out the logistics and just all the options for people that miss the deadline, which is going to happen. I have a feeling that I'm excited about the turnout so far. I went from 15 likes on the Facebook page to 415 or whatever, 515, so that's phenomenal. Do likes mean sales? No, but so I'm extremely confident there'll be enough people to warrant moving forward. So let's put it this way. 100 people signed up. I apologize, but I'll be spending the day refunding everybody. So 100 people is just not going to cut the numbers to make this feasible. Beyond that, after a few hundred, then it makes it feasible, and beyond a few hundred, then we have a lot more options and wiggle room to do some exciting stuff that I have planned for parts 2 and 3 and the evolution of this project. So beyond that, I'm looking into ways that you can subscribe afterwards, but there's a kind of a custom component to this that really only works when you do the follow up on the subscription time.
So James, when folks are signing up, what can they expect to pay?
That's to be determined right now. Okay. So that one we'll follow up later on.
Can you ballpark it?
You know what? I want to say that I can, because I've done all the tiers on the numbers. And I made this decision in my head. The moment I say roughly, and then it's higher, people gripe.
Right.
You know,
you've been here a while.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'd love to. You know me, and this is another thing that I've really, whatever street cred or community cred that I have, you can Google me, James M. Cavanaugh Jr. You can Google Cuckoo-san. Yeah, this is the part where I beg or whatever, lay it on the line or say it as it is. I don't think I have any negative press. So feel free to tell me. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I pissed somebody off once upon a time. I probably did. It's going to happen probably a few times. But no, my books have always been smooth. If there's ever been an issue, I've refunded them or sent them a new book. I've never sold anybody a repo figure in my booth. To my knowledge, everything's as is. I'd like to think that I'm, what you see is what you get, and this is where I'm kind of coming. And I intend to be honest and forward with everybody throughout this, but this is where at times you're just going to have to, work with, factor in whatever credit I have.
Trust you, in other words.
Just go with it. Trust
you.
I trust no one, not even myself. Cover commander. No. But the price will be worth it. I definitely think the value. When you see the items, you can run the numbers. It's right there for everybody to do. In fact, do all the same work I did. It's on the internet. But it'll be there.
From our conversations, James, I can tell everybody at home that a lot of the designs for the ribbon, the coin, et cetera, still in the final stages.
Yeah.
Basically, you've got to confirm it with the folks who are doing those designs.
Say that last part again. I'm sorry.
Basically, we're at the point where you're just doing a final confirmation with the folks who are doing those designs.
Oh, pretty much, yeah. I initially worked with John Cremines and Mike Hill. John's moved on to he was moving on to the comic. They're kind of back. Mike Hill had some family and business issues that have done really well for him. He's doing great on that. Beyond that, I've always been the art guy from the start to finish in terms of vector art and whatnot. So it's just going through the motions and making all that, making sure it's polished, nice and pretty. Bring the best product that I can.
So we'll take a few moments here. We've got some time here for folks in the live chat to have questions specifically about James's project. If we're got questions about something else that maybe we've done, maybe send us an email. Let's try and keep it on topic as best we can. So here's one. Bjorn Jakob Benonison. Will there be any cardboard dioramas?
Oh, that is a fun one. I've priced out some of those. At that point, it's getting the art. Not at this time, but it's definitely on the list of things to add. I can say, as far as dioramas I can go, that I can also say that there'll be contests that you can do. You can submit to the newsletter throughout the year at any point up until we'll review it in Q3 or issue 3, but towards the end of the year will be the cutoff. And the reason why I say that towards the end of the year or the end of the subscription, fans will be able to vote for their favorite in each category, the categories at this time are customizing, diorama, art in general, So it's kind of a broad thing from painting to sculpture or whatever you want. Cosplay in photography, that'll have its own category.
So Adam Skolmoski asks, can we get a club calendar with James cosplay?
Definitely PM me on my OF account.
You know, story on this one, but a mutual friend of ours
yeah,
actually put one of those together a couple years ago.
Yeah,
that item does exist. I don't know if we'll be recreating it for the GI fan club, but
you got to know the right people.
Maybe the noted
or
author
the wrong people.
Or the wrong people.
Exactly.
If you met Terry, you know, yeah, that can go 50-50. No, Terry's great. Oh, Jesus, that was a hoot. When I got that in the mail, I've always been excited for his yearly calendar. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, you have got to be kidding. It was flattering and embarrassing at the same time. Let's just call it that.
It was flat embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, flatter embarrassing. Bear.
Putting the bear in embarrassing.
The bear in the ass.
Will there be different tiers or one flat rate?
No, it'll be one flat rate for the mailing, just to keep it simple.
What scale and era are you focusing on?
Any and all. I definitely want to explore as wide of a GI Joe range as I can. Obviously, and again, if this thing really gets momentum and really gets going, and the themes are really just locked in stone, and honestly, like the contributions are coming in, because again, I'm not doing everything start to finish, anything but. There's going to be a lot of people contributing and coming and going. Really, I've found the role. I didn't know this until I got my hands on it. You know what exactly running a GI Joe an unofficial GI Joe fan club is in 2022. It's more of a conductor role or just a piece organizing role. It's a lot more behind the scenes, reaching out to these people, seeing what they are capable of contributing, what they'd like to contribute, and then the how to contribute. So too many of these guys have their specialties in area X, you know, but at the end of the funneling point is that writing. It needs to come out in a written or maybe a video form. I'd like to offer some video on the website in a members only setting, or and which, by the way, there will be some free options for everybody to enjoy, and it'll be out there on the public, and hopefully those free options say, hey, I really like this, I'd like more, and want to contribute to the full site. But yeah, it'll cover all scales. I will say that I'll be taking regular polling or community feedback, and quite honestly, if nobody wants to hear a certain genre, or worst case, there's not really much, I'm not really pulling from said genre of finding people that are willing to contribute, well, then that's just kind of how it'll go from there. But in my opinion, any GI Joe, any point of GI Joe is welcome as any other.
It's Super Joe or nothing.
That's in the first 5 years, Super Joe.
Super Joe. No, Steve down in Winterfest. Yeah. Make this
5 years
the
of
Super GI Joe fan club. Yeah.
But only the 2.5 inch scale.
You know, only exactly. Duh. You know, because everybody.
Extreme.
No, let's not mince words. It's probably going to focus more on Real American Hero.
And
definitely
related offshoots.
And related offshoots, sure. It's just going to be the nature of the beast. I predict that it'll be a substantial more amount of Real American Hero members than any other particular genre, which is fine. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'd like to learn something new too. So
I'm going to suggest, as a former marketing guy, that we throw the term unofficial out, right? And replace it with unsanctioned.
Oh,
that sounds so dangerous, right?
Yeah,
right? Like nobody in their right mind would sanction.
I'm cutting it. Yeah.
So edgy. Yes.
He's out there. Extreme.
That's it, right?
GI Joe Extreme. I'll write that down. I'll put that in my notes.
Unsanctioned. Yeah.
I'm afraid to touch this thing in case I turn off.
Dave Fernandez asks, any thoughts about doing a digital version of the newsletter?
Not at this time. maybe potentially down the line, or maybe older issues. This as a guy that's always, I've worked in printing for 15 years, and and if anything, that gives me a general understanding of production and manufacturing. And I've always at least understood this point when anybody really comes and puts a hard line on stuff. It's the moment you're offering one option, you're kind of pulling away from the other. So in order to keep the newsletter print, it'll just be beneficial to everyone to have as many numbers on that as possible, because that'll reduce the price per unit, which will in turn keep the membership price down. There's one other thing that I'll say about that in a general sense, and I've had this conversation with comic book collectors in particular. I know there's some comic book aficionados on the panel, so feel free to, hey, how we doing? Yeah, chime in or tell me I'm way off base. We're collectors. Yeah, exactly. Hold on, let me. Oh wait, yeah. Again, I'm new to this video thing, so I have to point. I'm technically pointing to my right, but yeah, because he's the right man on the job. No, I mean, people are collectors, and collectors want objects. They want things in their hands. And sure, I'm a collector of files on my computer. I like that. So we have that as a sense. It's in your PDF reader on your phone. But at the end of the day, paper, or just that hard, tangible object, is what people want, and I think it's a more fulfilling item. It's going to be more long term. I've spoken to the other contributors on this project, and some of them even said, like, they just cut me off immediately. They go, "Is this going to be print?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, good." I wouldn't do it if it was digital, because they just like having the nice hard copy. Do you want an action figure in collection, or do you want a picture of an action figure on your computer? I mean, it's not exactly the same, but I'm extremely confident that once you receive said paper object in your hand and in your collection, you'll be able to come back in 5-10 years and read it and see what was going on at that time and be happy you have it. Or at least I'm telling myself that.
I have a Comixology account, digital comics.
Okay.
Most of the stuff that I have, in my Comixology library is stuff I already own.
Okay.
Because I bought it, just to like read on my tablet, so I can have a bunch of stuff that I can read and not have to bring, books. Like if I'm going on a trip, I don't have to bring 6 books. I could bring 1 tablet.
Okay.
Or I could sit at night and read it because, there. But, I still have those physical copies. Sure. I prefer the physical copies,
Then maybe I'll look into a digital equivalent for anybody that subscribes, and then that way they can have it. But
I mean, like I was saying, I prefer the print newsletter, myself.
Okay.
Every time I had to read stuff for a class or anything like that, it was they're pulling it off digital. I was printing it off just so I could highlight, and it's just sank in so much better for me. So
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. I'll leave you with this. Like there are a couple pay options out there for stuff like that to make sure that it's locked and this is your account and you can't necessarily share it with anybody. I mean, there's always a hack for everything. But I can look into those. I put it on the list. But at that point, I mean, they're usually pay, and then pay means, again, it all funnels back to this thing.
Yeah. You cannibalize yourself because you've got too many options.
Yeah. I've dealt with the community in some way, shape, or form since 2004. That's my first convention, and sold books since 2011. I do kind of know when and where they're willing to pay, how much for what, and I just want everybody to be happy and have a payment.
With the old club, I liked getting my newsletter in the mail.
Yeah, there was always something.
Something nice to get in the mail besides a freaking bill.
Oh, sure. Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Good question.
Yeah.
Will there be a club presence at the various cons around the country? And if so, what do you think that will look like?
That's a great question. And the answer is yes. I intended, I've always been going to the shows, and many of the people on the roster have been going to the shows for years, And so I do intend to set up. I can say that I'll be setting up at Joe Fest. As well, you knew I was coming to Joe Fest as RHC Guidebooks. I'll be setting up as the G.I. Joe fan club, along with the Order of Battle guys, Joel and Jason. So excuse me, sorry. So they'll be helping me out, and possibly others. I mean, and again, as people want to come and get involved in all that, we can figure it out. As far as what it'll look like, well, we'll see when we get there. But so I wouldn't. Again, this is where I'm being upfront and kind of honest with people. Again, recognize that things could and may change. So don't hold my feet to every point 6 months from now. Well, you said it was going to be like this. Well, at the time I meant it, but then some prices or whatever changed. I intend to have some raffles. I intend to have a present. So you'll be able to sign up if we're able to work out the post registration hiccups or differences. You would be able to sign up for the club there. Off the top of my head, this is how I think about it. I would like to work with the show runners and provide some sort of raffle for everyone that attends, because I want everybody to have fun. I can't stress that enough while we're going through this entire process. I want everybody to have fun, and maybe have some members only raffles, mix it in between the two. Just so that's where the kind of how's that structuring going to work out. So. I want people to have fun with the club, and I want members to feel that they're getting a lot of value with the club. It's always in the front of the decision-making process.
Crocodile Joel McMullen asks, how big are you planning the newsletters to be? The last ones were a little thin.
Oh, yeah. Another example of how ridiculous I am or can be. I reviewed every previous G.I. Joe comic newsletter. And I developed categories, and I did a tick mark, and I ran the percentages of what categories would they be on everything. So 16-page newsletter. And there was a lot of comic and promos, so which was fun. Roughly 16 pages per issue. I can say that's going to come down to what the membership results are going to be at the end of registration and the contributions that come in. So
Shane Semick asks, what is James most excited about from all of this?
Hearing from Shane Simic.
Well, all right.
There you go.
How's that the shill and begging?
What's on Joe mind? The Dream Makers.
Well, you know what? I'm excited. I'm excited that everybody is excited. I'm excited that he simply asked a question and took the time. I'm excited with every question that's been asked so far. Again, feel free to point them out. And sometimes the negative hurts. I haven't seen one bad, or the negative is informative and help correct, but I haven't heard one bad comment on what's been discussed so far. I mean, I get that everybody still is looking for more information. Hopefully they're getting it right now, or
will in the next couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I just want everybody to feel like I think everybody's happy. I think everybody's starting to come together, and I think everybody's starting to get on board, and that's what I'm most excited about. There's one other component I'm excited about, the award ceremony at the end, which I will not discuss until towards the end of the year, but that's also what I'm most excited for. I really hope people take the time to submit their work. Details about that will be in the first newsletter, and yeah, the end of the year is really going to be fun. And I can promise you on that, there's going to be a fair amount of people that are going to be disappointed in themselves that they didn't register when they see the awards for the contests. So stay tuned on that.
Matt Rubin asks, just in case I missed it, will you be taking submissions for the newsletter?
Absolutely. Yeah. Reach out to me at the G.I. Joe fan club. Any of the social medias, reach out to me there. You can reach out to me at admin@gijoefanclub.com. Those are a great way. Let's streamline it to those avenues, so that way I can keep track of what's going on and try and get your submission going on. I'm hoping, and as I've talked to the other contributors, they're like, well, what do you want and when do you want it? And I can understand that people maybe want to structure throughout the year, but right now I'm just bring it all in. Give me too much content, and then I'll be able to judge it and parse it out and structure it. Because last thing any of us wants is, some foot tapping towards issue 3, issue 4, what's going on here. And one more snippet on that. Let's assume it's just a waterfall. Like content's coming in everywhere, and it's all wonderful. Extra additional. The excess will be on the website, both public and private.
But McDowell wants it known he's very interested in some G.I. Joe Extreme Love. Now, I don't know if that's G.I. Joe Extreme Love or G.I. Joe space Extreme Love.
Mm.
But
Well,
Either way.
Either way. Why not both?
well, yeah, get out those.
Now that's extreme.
Yeah,
coming
extreme.
February, the Extreme Love issue.
I think there's going to be some. I've spoken to a few guys. Jesus, that was I've spoken to a few guys that have, out of all the things to discuss, Extreme came up. So, yeah,
It's
we'll see.
Joe Slepsky's subscription now in the bag.
Done.
In the bag.
All right, keep them coming.
Let's see.
People love Extreme more than words can say.
I believe it.
Oh.
Extreme times call for extreme measures.
I'm going to apologize for that.
Oh.
I don't know where that came
Oh,
from.
good thing the
Lighters
bathroom's
on everyone.
closed.
Lighters
Oh.
out.
Jeez. Oh, you guys. Are there any other questions in the
I'm going through.
queue? Oh, okay. Sure.
We want the good ones. Only the best questions make the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they're all the best questions.
That's about what we got, and it's probably a good time. So, wait, here's an important one.
How do you subscribe?
How do you
Hey,
subscribe?
Oh, well, of course. Hey, Hawk.
General Hawk.
Yeah, you'll find that out. Oh, Hawk's great. Definitely check out his what he publishes.
Yeah,
You'll
I know
find
Hawk.
out at the end of the month, Hawk, and everybody. It'll be as it stands. I'm looking at Kickstarter, but I'm looking at just PayPal, which is how you've purchased every rank and file since in RHC Guide since its inception. Kickstarter is great, and well, clearly, look at again Carson's. I mean, I'll say if anybody doesn't think about it, 10% goes to Kickstarter. So, and that's fine. I mean, that's the nature of the beast. But again, at all points, I'm looking at ways I can save us money, and also, not only save you money, but also have money in the queue to just really build this thing.
Yeah, it's best place to answer that question is to follow the G.I. Joe fan club on its various social media.
Absolutely. There's a link tree out there that you can. It's a one-click link that at all points you can reach out to the others, or do the obvious. Type in G.I. Joe fan club on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even TikTok. I haven't done a TikTok yet, but it's out there.
Matt P asks, for the contest, will there be fanfic sections?
That's an interesting one. I honestly never thought of that, and we'll look into it because that'll probably have to be on the website. To be honest with you, I don't think I'd be able to submit. Have that printed out. That'd be an additional cost because again, we already have an in-house fan fiction section. But yeah, I can look into that and get back to you.
And run your own de facto Amazon.
Yeah. There's one thing to say about any of that. There'd be some guidelines we would cut out, keep it a certain rating and make it fun for all. That's another thing that I always want to keep in mind on all this.
All ages appropriate.
All ages appropriate. I understand it's still room for ambiguity, and some people's opinion may be others. I'll be the final say. I think if you've known me a while, we can get blue on our off time, but for this project, I want everybody to be happy, and I want people to be able to share this with their children, and just leave it at that.
I mean, sometimes we can get blue on our on time.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
Yeah.
Share the brand with children.
I know.
Grow it.
What?
Like,
Toys aren't for kids.
whoa.
Are those small organisms of kicking out of the way on the way to get to the figures?
That's
Out of my
crazy
way.
talk. Crazy talk. I tell
That's
you.
the real reason why I was late. And you can't
Out of
see
my way,
elbows.
you little urchins.
Yeah. Jesus.
So remember, if you're
And I
new to
teach.
us tonight, please take a moment, like this video, subscribe to our channel. It's the thing you can do to help us grow. If you're watching us on Facebook tonight, be sure to give us some kind of a reaction. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart. Give us a little huggy guy. We love little huggy guy.
What did they do? This or whatever?
Any kind of interaction helps the world go around on Facebook. But really, the thing that you can do, every one of you can do to help us grow the most, is head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel there. So one last question here. Articulated Chat asks, good presents for customs in the newsletter.
Yes. There will indeed. I've kind of set up liaisons. It's by no means limited to those major topics, but absolutely. I've always felt that, again, customs, diorama, cosplay, photography, and art in general, those are the 5 that I've had kind of in my head, that they're just, they weren't necessarily representative. They're kind of the core. If you're to really make a slice of the pie, the communal pie, besides G.I. Joe collecting, you know what I mean? That's kind of what we do. Those are the supplemental, those are the next tier down on how fans tend to enjoy the hobby the most. And yeah, absolutely. Again, this is where submissions and anybody that wants to contribute can chime in on tips and tutorials and maybe some fan spotlights and whatnot. But yeah, again, reach out, hit up the PMs or the emails.
Absolutely. And remember, there is no obligation to buy right now. Be sure to follow James and this project in his various social media. Like we said just a few moments ago, you'll get more information in the next few weeks. We promise.
Absolutely.
James promises. He's got it laid out. I've gone through the whole spiel with him as I tried to coax images out of him to reveal tonight. He said, "No go. I have a plan."
I have a plan.
But James, I have $5, and he was like, "Still no. You'll have to wait like everyone else." And I said, "James, I can up that to $7." And he was like, "Still, I'm gonna take my chances and wait."
It was tempting because I need that money, but
yeah, right. I mean, $7. And I realized I couldn't back that up unless I hit up the honcho for a loan. So I backed off right there, and just James will reveal what's coming as the weeks go by. And so we'll wrap up on questions there. I'll take a moment and get into what we got in. The part of the show where we flex on what we received in the mail or at the store or what have you. And James, you're our guest. Why don't you go first? What'd you get in this week?
Stalkers for $5.55. Hot dog.
Discount stalker.
Yeah.
I got 3 stalkers in a bag.
Exactly. The same ones I took back for $13.50 3 months ago.
That's about $5.55 a stalker.
Pretty much, I know. Hey, bring it on back. No, it was a great figure. It's I think they put out too many. I think for every one trooper they put out obviously one stalker. And then they brought it back in with Wave 5. So as much as I think he'll go down in history as a solid figure, just excess takes over.
Yeah.
I think distribution was terrible on those too.
It was spotty. I mean, as a guy that had more ups than downs with the retro line at Walmart, I can bore people in other areas and other avenues with Dayton just seems to be a little more of a hotbed or a focal point for G.I. Joe distribution. So we were lucky that way, but I was going to say,
in fairness, who could have expected just one of those guys to get Army build, right? Like,
yeah.
Who knew people would want a bunch of the Cobra Trooper?
Yeah.
Gee. Holy smokes. I mean, we're learning as we go, right?
Oh, yeah. Slowly, the wheels turning. Yeah. And then I got the O-Ring figures in. The O-Ring, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and a few Bats and Alley Vipers. They're slowly coming in, as we all know, and the usual stuff. Back to Carson's book.
Yeah. So, Rack Time Rob, what'd you get in?
Well, I got.
Hey.
There you go.
Yep. Mike didn't get his yet.
He's got his open.
Mine's in the mail. Why don't you get it up in the camera?
Ooh la la.
Extra stuff down here.
That, for the record, is
The O-ring, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow.
Now,
Very nice.
it's a neat presentation and all, but I have to say, why did they put 85 Snake Eyes on the box?
I know, because on the inside you get 82 Snake Eyes.
Absolutely.
Or technically 83 because he's swivel arm. But
I know why.
And that's what was advised. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like they're trying to sell us something different than what they advertised.
It's
Right.
yeah, it's something they should have maybe fixed up before they decided. But here's
Man, that Uzi looks lonely.
well, that's okay because in the extra equipment they give you a second Uzi and
Good.
the silver Uzi from the 89 Snake Eyes.
The one that no one liked.
Yeah,
Actually, that one's not bad. I was thinking about the late one.
Yeah, 89 does fine in the love department.
Yeah,
Yeah,
89
89's
fine. It's the later silver Uzi. Not Uzi. It's more like a Mac 10.
If there's any 89 issues, I think it's because they put them out a few times in 97. So
yeah.
time didn't do as good as honoring.
And then you
89.
have the spare weapons. They come with. These are not what they came in. They came wrapped in like tissue paper. So I put them in a bag. But they get figure stands. Nothing spectacular. Just a simple.
Right.
But you'll notice in the when you get it, Storm Shadow does not have his nunchucks, but they come in the extra bag.
I've heard, and this may just be a couple people, that they're kind of brittle. I've seen some broken nunchucks from some angry people online. So
I haven't
Again,
tried flexing them around, so
I don't know if that's widespread, but just
Yeah.
buyer beware because it's going to be hard to get a new pair of nunchucks.
Don't shit
Well,
on them.
they did send 2 pair.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a good job by them.
Keep those out of the mouth.
Yeah. Oh, that's what
I've seen how some of those guys play with their toys. The jury's still out on. No, I'm just kidding.
That's for sure.
But decent presentation. They look nice. So I'll probably pop them open eventually.
So what else you get in?
That's it.
All right, way to not be exciting.
Sorry.
Oh wait, that's the most exciting thing that this house received this week. Mark
Yeah.
Wagner.
Well, I backed Carson's Kickstarter because it's going to be awesome, obviously. Other than that, it was a light week, so I decided I'll go with the one thing we can all agree on.
Don't get us demonetized.
Oh yeah,
We have to
Only
be
6
monetized
seconds.
first.
Right?
Don't get us a copyright strike.
Oh,
Oh.
Doon, 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 doon. It was only 5 seconds. You get 6 seconds.
Yeah.
oh,
That's it.
Dime box of Cena.
Dime box of
Brings
Cena.
us.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has their favorites. Like somebody's like, "Oh, I'm a Super Joe guy. I'm a 12-inch guy. I'm a 3 3/4 guy." Look, there's one thing that can bring us all together, especially
Cena.
on a night when Joe's not here,
ah.
and that is a dime box of Cena, baby. That's what I got in this week.
Shout out to the wrist lock.
You guys are there.
Who is
The
it?
man.
Is it date night?
No, she had some kind of thing going on. I forget what she told us, but whatever.
It wasn't about us, so we lost interest.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, about me, guys.
Yeah.
So, what did I get in this week? I did not get anything Joe related per se. I did get a robot that they named after a Joe. This is the-
Lift ticket.
yeah, this is Lift Ticket from Hasbro Pulse.
Red Hoist.
Yeah, Red Hoist. Simply because I'm a sucker for a repaint.
Well, you're a Trailbreaker guy, right?
I'm a Trailbreaker guy. I'm the Trailbreaker guy. I have 4 Transformers from when I was a kid, right? I got Sideswipe because he was my favorite. I got Jetfire because he was my second favorite. That toy was just freaking awesome, even by today's standards.
Yeah.
I got Cup because he was my favorite from the movie, and he is laughably bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
And I got Trailbreaker because he was the first one I ever got. So I have a love for Trailbreaker, and now that they're going to actually make Trailbreaker again, it's kind of nice. So I'm doing what I do with the Sideswipes. I get all the remolds of Sideswipe. I've decided I'm going to do all that with Trailbreaker too, and that meant getting Mr. Lift Ticket here with his gun hand and his little wings. He is a straight up repaint too. They didn't even put a different face on him. Yeah, that is Hoist all the way. That is,
Right.
It is Red Hoist.
Did you lose his little microphone already? Yes, you did. Lift ticket.
Oh, no, actually,
Oh,
I'll tell you, man, I still have the one from '86.
That's solid.
Yeah.
that was what actually. I mean, wasn't that glued into the helmet? I mean, they
No,
finally
separate
wiped
piece.
up and
No, it comes out.
does it?
Separate
Okay.
piece. Yep.
Absolutely comes. It just the one in the figure that I got. It just didn't move much.
Yeah, ironic that the little microphone stays good for 30 years, but the rotor blades on the helicopter are a friggin' nightmare.
On it.
Oh yeah.
Mike and I are going to move to Vermont, open a B&B focused on Pokemon Go. It probably wouldn't be the first one,
Yeah.
No, that's true.
but
You realize they're going to be opening the door when you're using the toilet, chasing Pokemons. When
I'll tell you,
those people go anywhere on that thing.
that almost
Take
that
the
almost got me
Squirtle.
to the game. In that
That Squirtle.
when I first started playing several years ago, I was just kind of wandering around my apartment in St. Louis, and I walked into the bathroom with Pokemon Go, and there was just some little fanged insect thing, and I was like, oh my god, I don't need that in my bathroom, even virtually. It was terrifying. I almost quit right there, but I hung in there.
Sitting right on the turlet.
Right, they were just right under the toilet, which is more terrifying.
Oh, that's worse.
Oh,
Not to speak out of school, but big Pokemon Go guy, Daryl DePriest.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
okay.
he is a buddy of mine on that game, and
Yep.
he every day.
Yep.
I'm getting some little gift or something from Daryl, and he's expecting one back, I'm sure. I just don't play every day. I play a lot, 3 days a week maybe, but
You better tribute to Daryl. I'm just going to leave it cover that.
first thing I checked, did Daryl send something? Yeah, of course he sent something back. So, but yeah, that's all I got. It was a light week. I was at work a lot this week. This week kind of stunk. So why don't we move into shout outs? James Kavanaugh, who we shouting out to?
Shout out to everybody liking and loving the fan club. Yeah, hey, thank you guys. I can't thank you enough. Shout out to Carson and Brian Sauer on an amazing book. That's just Chad Hookall. Jesus, that thing's amazing. And $400,000. That bravo. And shout out to Skeletron. You can't get enough of those.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Racktime Rob, shout it out.
Shout out to all future club members
Hey. Yeah.
and viewers like you
And
And
Now
the,
you know.
and the Chub group.
and the Chubb group.
Wait, that's PBS. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's all you got, Racktime Rob?
Yes,
All right.
we're gonna be upbeat this week.
All right. Honcho Mark Weber.
Yeah, upbeat. I'm about to bring it
Yeah.
down.
Oh, no, that's good.
That was
Thing.
the Paul that I sensed.
when those
Yeah, but-
shout downs to
Baseball's never far from my mind, and it's one of my other great loves. And Gerald Williams from New York Yankees passed away this week, and he was one of the only bright spots from the last era when the Yankees were truly terrible in the early '90s. And he was not a great ball player, but he was a good ball player, and he hustled, and he made you think maybe better days were ahead, and they actually were. And he got traded in the middle of their title year of '96 and passed away at 55, I think Wednesday of this week. So one of my very favorite of the not household name Yankees. So shout out to Gerald Williams, his family and friends and fans and teammates. Once in a while, it's funny because celebrity deaths don't normally hit me hard because I don't know these guys. And if I met them once or twice, it's still not the same. But that one hit me a little bit just because he was youngish and one of my favorites from a time when there wasn't much to root for in New York.
Yeah.
No, there certainly was not.
So yeah, that one hit me this week. So feeling bad for Gerald Williams. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I'll try and rescue us.
Right? Sorry about that.
All right. I'll give a shout out to our wonderful sponsors at Kokomo Toys. I'll take a second here with theme song. Kokomo
Toys.
Kokomo Toys.
Kokomo
Toys.
Big thanks to Todd and Amber, as always. I want to give a shout out to longtime friend of the program and occasional guest over in the merry old UK, owner of allthecoolstuff.co.uk, Mr. David Tree. It's his birthday today.
Hey,
My favorite tree.
Birthday
happy
day.
birthday day.
He's probably already in bed.
Of
He
course,
looks great for 74.
Right?
he is a sparkling 83.
He probably.
Of course,
He looks even better then.
where Dave is, his birthday's been over for 4.5 hours, but we don't care.
He's still celebrating. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, well, it's
Let's
Dave.
hope he is.
All right.
It's Dave.
That's true.
Hope
Shaw.
He's just getting back from celebrating. Yeah.
Give a shout out to you guys, the Honcho Mark Weber, Racktime Rob, and our special guest, of course, noted author James Kavanaugh.
Thanks.
One last time, James
Thank
Kavanaugh,
you.
where can everybody go to follow up on your updates, your continual updates of the new G.I. Joe fan club?
You can log into Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and find a GI Joe fan club. And well, there will be a GI Joe fan club.com. I own the domain name, just got to set it up. But you can look up a GI Joe fan club there and find me.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Give a shout out to all of our folks in the live stream tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We were up close to 80 for a while tonight, and lots of reactions on Facebook as well. We thank you all for tuning in. If you're catching us on replay, we love you too. Thank you for joining us, even if the time sync didn't quite work with your schedule this week. Catch us next week. We'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Team Stream. Joe Colton should be back with us next week. I think we got somebody else planned. I don't know. I'd have to check the schedule. I got to look and check. We'll find out.
Tell her I said howdy.
I will not. I will make her check in with you personally.
That's fine. I appreciate
it's even better.
it. We've been chatting about the fan club, so
Right.
it's all good.
I mean, she's not here, so we had to get a cosplayer in.
That's true.
We might as well always beat her in contests, right?
Right.
We'll have to look at the. She's not here. I'll say every
Really?
time she's not here to debate it.
I'm
The
just
JoeCon cosplay contest was really about who's the bronze medal winner, right?
Well, no,
that was
Yeah.
the intrigue, right?
Who's coming in? Who will be joining them this year on the medal stand?
Who's coming in third?
My favorite year was 2018.
yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
When the upsets came aplenty.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyways, we'll save that for another time. Be sure to join us next week on the Team Stream. Please, if you have not received your vaccination yet, please take some time, get that done. If you haven't gotten your booster, please go get your booster. Keep yourself safe. Keep everybody else around you safe. Looks like we're coming out of this, but let's make sure. Let's stamp it dead while we've got it on the run, and get this over with and get ourselves out of a pandemic. I want to go to some shows this summer, right? I want to get out. I want to see everybody. I want to plug the damn show in person, and that's really the only way that's going to get this done. We need to be sure that people are actually running shows for us to go to. So please do your best. Keep yourself safe. Keep everybody else safe. And if you can't be safe, at least be careful. That's it for us from the Team Stream tonight. Again, I'll say it again. Join us next Friday for the next edition of the What's on Joe Mind Team Stream. Have a great rest of the weekend. And yo, Joe. I'll find it.
I love it.
Bye.
Thanks.
Eventually.